Welcome back to Pearls Pod. Today we're hitting on the Rockets win over the Lakers. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. It's not going to be a whole episode recapping the game. Mainly we're going to talk about Jalen Green. A lot of people are high on him right now. We'll discuss how we feel when we get to that point. I don't like the jersey, no shirt look, bad look by me, but I'm committed to it. Anyway, hitting on the game real quick. What a dominating performance. Win over the Lakers. Much needed. Definitely after dropping the one to the Blazers. And yeah, so the win over the Jazz and now the win over the Lakers have been huge in the play-in chances. So yeah, we're currently, as we said today, before who we play today. For the Pelicans game, we are half a game back of both the Jazz and the Lakers. And honestly, could make a big move coming up. We'll hit on that too. We're going to talk about 135-119 win over the Los Angeles Lakers at home. They were up by as much as 30. Sorry. Hopefully I remember to cut all this out. Up by as much as 30. Got as low as 10 late there. Still a pretty comfortable victory, 139-119. Jalen Green got off to a hot start. Had 13 in the first quarter, 18, 8 rebounds, 4 assists in the first half. Cam Whitmore, in 4 minutes, 3 minutes in the first quarter of the final, went for 12. Ended up with 20 points, 6 rebounds. His magical little run there, he got 3 fast break dunks and a 3, plus the 3 that he hit early in the quarter, early when he first checked in, to get his 12 in that first quarter. It was a very, very quick and exciting 12, and that's just him, and I love it. And he's just becoming one of my favorite players on the team, to be honest. His assist percentage is the 6th lowest of all time. If he gets to the qualifying minutes, which he will, I'm assuming, it will qualify, as if it stays as it is, will qualify for the 6th lowest of all time. If he was classified as a shooting guard and not a small forward, it would apparently be the lowest of any shooting guard in history. It's pretty crazy. Alperen Sengun also had a very great game. 31, 12, 7, 2 blocks? 2 steals. 2 steals and 1 block. I didn't specify. 2 steals, 1 block. Pretty sure that's how I put it. Great game, offensively, defensively, rebounds, passing. He did a little bit of everything, but never had to take over. That was pretty in the flow. Cook, Anthony Davis, any other mismatch, they're sending doubles or finding the open man. Really great, efficient game for him. Honestly, it was great. It was great. Didn't have to do a whole lot. Didn't seem forced, but. The Rockets, a lot of these stats are going to be a little inflated. They put up 42 in the first quarter, 78 in the first half. They were hot. It was crazy. Jalen Green finished with 34, 12, and 7. His 3rd consecutive game, we'll get to that in a second. Jabari's back. Huge impact. Picking up right where he left off. 18, 9. 4 assists and 3 steals. 4 assists is quite high for Jabari. But very efficient, 18, quiet, easily gets it in the flow. Will Jabari ever be a superstar? I doubt it. But if he can average in the high teens, shooting efficiently and playing elite defense, his mold fits perfectly with Sengun. He keeps growing in that role. Maybe he gets a little bit above 20, and he's not a guy that needs the ball. So yeah, young core, looking good. We'll get to that in a second too. Back to Jalen Green for a little bit. It's his 3rd consecutive 10-plus rebound game. It's his career high at 12. He's averaging 6.8 free throws over his last 4 games. So here's the deal. Great game, amazing game. Really an amazing stretch here. Maybe we're seeing some consistency start to grow. And Jalen Green here, it's been 4 games. One game he didn't play great, but he rebounded the ball well. He impacted the game in other ways. Nobody played great against the Nets. What are you going to do? 10 rebounds, that was like his, I think, if I remember this correctly, that was his career high. Yeah, it was his career high. When he got it the first time 3 games ago, right? And now he's had it 3 straight times. Ime Udoka said it in the presser after the game, talks about how they showed him film of him standing around and not fighting for these rebounds. Definitely those mid-range rebounds where, it's kind of uncontested. He's athletic, he can go up and high and grab it. And he got offensive rebounds this game. He had a putback. These are things that, even if he's not scoring the ball well, I would love to see him get done. Yes, he's also growing as a playmaker as well. And as a secondary playmaker, sorry, I was right. For some reason, all of a sudden, as a secondary playmaker, this is huge, and we need that. But the rebounding and stuff is where we really need it because we have a playmaker in Şengün. Eventually, we'll have an elite playmaker in Amin Thompson. There's playmakers on this team, and I want him to average 3-4 assists. It's great, but rebounding, competing on the defensive end, I think is the most important growth areas for Jalen Green. And we're finally seeing it. And also, not even that, like I mentioned, the 6.8 free throw attempts. This is a different way he's getting a shot. He's not just shooting these step back threes. He can get hot. We've seen these stretches of him getting hot. He can get hot, right? He can hit 6 threes and go off for 40. Like, it can happen. And then the consistency's not there. The only reason why I have a little bit of hope here, and I'm making this video mainly about Jalen Green, because, we just dominated the Lakers, right? And this is great. My guy, Şengün, had a great game, but he's actually showing growth. He's attacking the rim. He's getting to his spot in the mid-range. And, that's still a little hot and cold shot occasionally, but he is good in the mid-range. He's not very good from 3 yet. Sometimes he gets fallen, but, it's different. He's getting a different shot selection, shot volume going right now, making the right play. He's getting it off the glass and taking it the length of the floor, and some of that has to do with having Amin and Cam in there more. Now it's not Freddie and Şengün, who aren't fast break guys. And that's where I see this vision, watching them play together. Just think in a few years, you have Amin Thompson, freak athlete, freak playmaker on the break. You got Jalen Green, also a freak athlete. You got Cam Whitmore, also a freak athlete, and he's massively physical. All these guys are coming at you, on like a 3-on-2 break or whatever it may be. Like whoever the 4th guy is, you got Jabari trailing for 3. Like our starters right now like to play slow. You got Freddie, you got Şengün. They like to be set up in the half. Şengün's never going to change. Freddie will eventually be gone, most likely. So, but as of now, you got those guys. So seeing like kind of that Amin, Cam, Jalen minutes, shoot, man, that gets me excited. Because think about it. Theoretically speaking, eventually we'll get into this more in the offseason and such. But eventually we're not going to be able to pay these guys. The 6 guys that are going to be, our core young pieces. Amin, Jalen, Cam, Tari, Bari, Şengün, right? Most likely one of them's going to have to go, maybe 2 at some point. But rookie Amin, rookie Cam, it's going to be a while till you have to pay them. So, thinking, 3 years from now, look at the vision. Elite playmaking, elite freak athlete at a point guard, at the shooting guard, at the small forward, starting for you with Jabari and Şengün, with Tari off the bench. Sounds elite. And you know what else it sounds like? It sounds like the only way to build a dynasty now in the NBA. Because free agency is kind of dead. We'll talk about more of that in the offseason. Things are kind of dead now. The way these extensions are going, guys are staying, they're getting huge max extensions that can't be necessarily found in free agency. And they can ask for trades and stuff like that. But then those teams like the Suns lose flexibility on who they can sign, right? Where the dynasties that we've seen, the Warriors, the most recent dynasty, obviously make some trades and some things happen. But your core right there, the Draymond, Curry, Clay, like those guys were drafted. And with these guys, the only teams that are really built like that off the top of my head right now through the draft that really have a lot of upside, it looks like Oklahoma City, the Rockets, maybe Orlando. So, I don't know if it's possible to have a dynasty coming up with how much talent and everything there is, but this is the way you build it, right? And eventually, maybe you trade whoever we end up losing, whether that be Jalen, which feels, even if he continues his growth, feels like the most likely one. I think I turned that off. I accidentally turned my mic off there. I think he just feels like the odd man out, right? But I'm not saying that because I don't like him. And like I said, I think our window could be not next year, maybe the year after that. Our window opens, right? Like by that time, Amen's gonna have a lot of time, get into the system, integrated in the NBA. Cam has been a bucket already. He's already a bucket. He's already a pretty good rebounder. Like, this legitimately, 2 years from now, those guys are going to have that experience. The expectations are going to be high. Definitely if Jalen Green continues to show this level of growth and of growth and shows that not the points here, but the way he's taking his shots, the growth in the offense, the fast break off, the rebounds, whatever it is. If he can show that's going to be the floor, I think his value rises significantly, which is the only reason I'm even thinking about. I don't think he should trade him. I want that first off. I want to say that. I do not think he should be traded now. Maybe next year, depending on maybe how contract extension is looking, whatever. I don't know. But for this exercise, so I want to get that. Let's just talk about that. I don't think he should be traded right now. I think the value of keeping him, I've kind of said that all along. I think the value of keeping him outweighs, potential outweighs the negative. Like, definitely because his value was at all-time low. If he keeps growing like this, could come to all-time high. That's why I think there's a possibility that you look at it in the offseason, probably more towards the trade deadline next year, depending where the team's at. Where's Cam? How are we filling out? So I think it's possible. I don't think he should be traded. I think maybe put feelers out, see what's out there. Don't think it should be done right now. I think that vision of Amen, Jalen, Cam, Bari, Şengün, with Tari off the bench, and then you can fill out, however you fill out the backup roles. You got to have a backup center. You don't have that right now, and I think that's big, as well as finding somebody to run a backup to Amen at that point, since he would then take over, assuming Freddie would be gone. I think 2 years from now can be the window. I think it's with Jalen Green, too. I think it is heavily with Jalen Green. Now, let's say Fred continues playing really well. They take that third year, and they decide to move on from Jalen. If you get some good return in that could be big. I can also see the reason they're looking at this so heavily, as I've heard. I don't know this. I've heard listened to podcasts, listened to Twitter. I'm rationalizing it as, like I'm saying, there's already 6 young guys, this young core. A few years from now, you're going to figure out how to pay and such. Why add another one in this Brooklyn pick, right? Like, look to trade the Brooklyn pick, and then whatever other piece of the 6 that you'd like to trade to get back an established guy. Maybe that opens the window up a year earlier. I don't really know. So yeah, this has been a little bit all over the place, but I did want to highlight Jalen's growth in his free throws, his rebounding, his impacts in other areas. Also, one of the fact that maybe him playing better might lead to him being traded more than it was when he was playing bad. I'm going to say still, I think it's best to wait it out. I think in the long term, this team has high potential as all those 6 young guys. Not that all of them are going to be stars, right? Like Tari is not going to be a superstar, but he might be the best role player. I'm not saying he's right now, but he might end up being the best role player in the NBA. Bari is probably not going to be a superstar, but he could be an elite defender, an elite shooter, average 20 or 20-ish, and is the perfect fit to shoot. Like all these pieces complement each other so well. Even I think people didn't know that Jalen and Cam could play together, but the freakish athleticism and scoring ability, I think, plays well together. They both can go off. They can. Cam's a terrific shooter. If Jalen gets shooting better, I think it even opens that up more. Feeding off of that with Şengün in the middle, trying to set them both up, both athletic, both cutters, can both be lob threats. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be the perfect mix. I'm not saying that they'll win the championship in 2 years from now, but I'm saying that it is possible. I'm saying that Jalen Green has looked amazing as of late, and as we play the Pelicans tonight, it's going up a little late. I'm recording. Let's play the Pelicans tonight. Is also a big game. I think we need to get on a little run here. Would be huge, obviously, for our hopes of making the play-in. And I say right now because in March, I looked at it, and our schedule is a little weak. It's a little weaker. I think there's a whole bunch of winnable games in March. And if we can get on a little bit of a run now and get to where we want to be in the standings, or right there, I think if we can really buckle down Jalen's growth, and as long as we stay healthy, getting Tari back as well, who's probably our most impactful player, March is where we make our run, and we solidify that play-in spot, and I don't think anybody will want to see us in that play-in tournament, right? So that's all I have for today. Got a little bit beating around the bush a little bit about Jalen, going back and forth, but I'm not saying that this is going to be sustained, but I'm saying the way he's playing right now is sustainable. Rebounding the ball, his shot volume and selection of what shot he's getting and the process of that is good for the long-term outlook rather than, oh, he just hit 6 threes in a game. All the Jalen Green stands are like, oh my God, he's back. How can you be? Because he got hot. We're not excited because he just got hot. He can get hot. All right, we've seen it. But this is sustainable, and I hope he keeps playing like this. I think it's better for him. It's much better for the team, for the system, and I think that for everybody, it makes Freddie not have to do as much. It makes everybody not have to do as much. And obviously, when he's playing well, his driving to the rim, his presence on the floor creates opportunities for everybody else. So that's it. Thanks for checking me out. Sorry it feels a little rushed, a little late, a little up. I know games tonight. I've been going through it, but we'll probably not have a recap after this Pelicans game. We'll probably wait, depending. If something cool happens, we might. If not, we'll probably do it after the Raptors game on Friday. So let's get ready for that one, and probably Saturday night. So, all right, thanks, bye.